Welcome to STC Sports, the home of Arsenal. And on this episode, we are going to be talking about the season ratings for all the Arsenal players. We've won the league now, the dust is settled, but now let's bring out the scorecard. And at the end of the show, we are going to be rating the STC Sports Player of the Season. If this is your first time, please like, share, and subscribe. And with me today, we have the old team. The old team is on board today. The Three Musketeers. My brother, Mr. D. Talk to me.
Hey, how's it going? Mr. T, Mr. BJ. How's everybody doing? Glad to be here to talk about my people, my players. Arsenal. London is red.
That's what I'm talking about. And next on board to talk about the Tomiyasu of the group. Injured in the first season. Even preseason has not started yet. Banji, tell me. Go on.
I'm great. First of all, congratulations to all Arsenal fans in the US, in London, in Nigeria, everywhere around the world. It's been a long time. We haven't said this. They've trolled us. They've said everything they could say. Before the iPhone was invented, you've not won the league, blah, 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 blah. But here we are now. Who's laughing now? It's going to be a long ride. But of course, another person said another 40 years. We're about to find out. But
We'll see.
My pleasure. It's great honor to be here. We look forward to what we're going to achieve together with Mikel Arteta, with the old squad. Let's get it started.
So first of all, we are going to be giving all our players a rating starting from David Raya. So David Raya is going to be first. So I'm going to there we go. David Raya. Mr. DJ, kick us off.
David Raya, my keeper. And I think I heard he got number one jersey for Spain. We'll see if they make him the number one starter. But I think they said he got number one jersey. You see,
Over Simon?
yeah. The jersey number is number one. So we'll wait and see if that means he's the starting goalkeeper. So you see, for me with Raya, and I'm being serious, the reason why I will not give Raya a 10 over 10 is because he has there's some times where he loses a fuse at times and just does some crazy stuff that which I don't think this season, I'm not sure if there was a game where it cost us some of his mistakes that he made, but I'm going to be giving Raya a 9.5 because of a keeper 3 times back-to-back the Golden Glove in the Premier League, like back-to-back 3 times, I don't think it's a fluke. So for me, Raya, there are so many games where he saved us, where they say a goalkeeper can save you points. There's so many saves that he made that you're like, if not for Raya, we'd lose that game. So David Raya, for his consistency, at least in the last 2-3 seasons, and specifically for this season, his performance, how he plays with confidence, reaching for the ball, claiming crosses, playing out from the back, spreading the ball, I think he's done very well. So for me, Raya is 9.5 for this season.
9.5. Well, I think I will give Raya a 10, to be honest with you, because arguably the best goalkeeper in the world right now. I don't see any other goalkeeper better than Raya. And even the Premier League this season, I don't see any other goalkeeper. I think the only goalkeeper that comes close in touch of distance is Donnarumma. That's it. And if you even look at Donnarumma's game when it comes to the, what coaches expect of goalkeepers right now, especially with the kicking, with the passing, with the spreading of the ball, Raya is way better than Donnarumma. And one of the things that Raya has shown this season is like the shot stopping as well. When you think about the game against Brighton, Minte, that ball is against Minte, the double save against Aston Villa, When you look at all those are match winners, of course. You, Mr. DJ, you did mention some of the things he did, especially against Wolves when he dropped the ball. But again, that happens sometimes with even the best of the best goalkeepers like Neuer and the likes, Courtois. You see them make mistakes like that. But in key moments, Raya showed up this season. So for me, I'll give him a 10. What did he man you?
I mean, for me, I would almost likely just give him a 10 too because it was phenomenal. I see why you might want to give him a 9. There were some loose passes and all of that, maybe a 9.5. But outstandingly, he made all the necessary saves over the course of the season. He was faced with 86 shots and he saved 60 of those. That is phenomenal. You can't find that in a lot of places. But of course, a few of his loose passes, I think it was a Champions League game, he had missed the pass and they had scored from there. I can't remember the particular game, of course. Those might knock him off some points, but at the end of the day, he won the Golden Glove. Because of him, a lot of saves, like you said, the curler from Minte, the Brighton save, makes him stand out. Donnarumma would try, but honestly, the best person won. But so for me, it will still be a 10. It would be a 10.
And don't forget 3 Golden Gloves back to back. 3 back to back. 19 clean sheets. That's unbelievable. 19 out of 38. That's 50%.
Yep.
Clean sheet. Yeah. So what do we all agree on? What's the average of that? So are we sticking to 9.5 or 10?
Well, I guess majority carries the vote. So we have 2 10s and 9.5.
So David Raya. So we are giving David Raya.
We could do that. We could do a 10 for him.
All right, going to my right back. Man, this guy right here is in contention for the player of the season. Jurrien Timber. I think for Jurrien, I would give him a 9 for the season. And this is my explanation because a lot of people are like, 9.5, a 9. So with Timber this season, I think that he had the highs and he had the lows, and the lows are explainable in terms of we could tell that on the tail end of the season, he was carrying an injury. And because of that, his form dropped. But at the beginning of the season, he was fantastic. And debately, you can say we can debate that he is the best right back in the league. Of course, Chelsea fans may have an argument, and they might argue about that Reece James. But I'll rather take Timber over Reece James, that never plays at all and is always injured. So for me, Timber, I'll give him a 9. Banji, what do you think?
For me, I would. Of course, because of what happened, the transition from him being a consistent right back to the injury. No one can blame me for the injury, of course. Because of his appearance is why I'm going to go 8. And 8, I apologize. But of course, it was phenomenal too in right back. But thankfully, a lot of other players stepped in for him. His availability is why I would rate him an 8. But consistently, if he had continued the way he did start the season, it most likely will be there at the 9.5 or a 10, because the third replacement, I won't say his second replacement, because I think the second replacement was White. Eventually, then Mosquera came in to do all of the brilliance that he did towards the end of the season. But for me, the only reason I'm dropping his points was the reason why he was injured. No, again, no offense to him. He was injured because he was injured, but availability knocked him out of the 2 points I was supposed to have. So for me, it will score a 10 for the upliftment, the Bible passages that he draws before every match and all of that beautiful things he does on Twitter before, the inspiration he gives. But overall, generally, I would give him an 8 for through the season.
Okay, so for me with Timber, first of all, I think you guys have been too generous with all this rating. Because for me, I like to go with stats and So when you guys say 9, 10, I'm like, okay, you tell me the person is perfect. Timber, of course, has made a great impact with Arsenal, and like you said, in the Premier League, there's a shout for him being the best right back. People might say maybe Reece James, but Timber is up there. But when I'm looking at my stats, I think there's still a level to go for Timber. He did so many things well, but as a defender, looking at his defensive ability or the defensive stat for this past season. So his tackles, he had 56% success rate with his tackles. In duels, 57% success rate. Aerial duel, 66% success rate. Of course, going forward, in distribution, 85% success rate. So you could see that, it gives a lot going forward. Of course, defensively is solid, but I feel there's still room for growth and there's still opportunity to be better. So for that, I'll give him an 8 too. I'll probably still with 8 overall, considering that, he's also somewhat new to the Premier League too. I think the season we bought him 2 seasons ago, he was injured all season, didn't even play at all. So maybe this was really his first season,
Forest, the first game,
where he played. And also knowing that he's in his previous club, it was probably a centre back. Now we kind of use him fully as a right back. So the way he played from the right back and inverting to midfield, so it gives a lot to the team. He allows the team to play different kind of formation. So I think for me, I'll give him an 8.
I think maybe we should have done this video maybe August, probably, because I think we're still in the hype of winning the league, so everybody gets a 10. So maybe.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We've not done this in 22 years, so everybody played well in my books. But I understand where you're coming from, DJ, in regards to looking at the highs and the lows, like I mentioned, with Timber, and I think again, there was a quote that came out, I think last season, towards the beginning of the season, that Timber was carrying an injury throughout. And I think these are one of the flaws of the coach, Mikel Arteta, which again we're going to be talking about, which again running these players to the ground, and we could tell even with someone like Ben White, with his injury right now. So with Timber, 8, so majority. So we're going with 8 with Timber for the season, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I think the majority carries that vote. Okay. All right. Now to the solid wall of China, of the defense of Arsenal. Starting with William Saliba, my defender.
Number 1. I don't even care. I don't care where anybody's coming from. This is the best. This is the best defender in the world. I do not care what. I mean,
Rolls Royce.
The latest Rolls Royce. He said he's a midfielder. The Real Madrid president, he said he's about to drop 150 million on a Champions League player. A lot of people are saying it might be Saliba. A lot of people are saying it might be Olise from Bayern. But ultimately, whatever it is, Saliba enters any team presently, and I don't know what team it is. I don't know. So I know you're saying maybe from the hype of just winning the league, this is a solid 10. I don't care. There was a loose pass that he did. One mistake all through the season. I mean, it's Saliba, man. It is committed. It puts his heart into the ball. And when we score, even if it's not the one who has scored, the way he rejoices with every person on the pitch when there's a goal scored, he has a heart for it. Is a solid guy. If I could score him more than a 10, come on, it's gonna take all points for it. Saliba gets a 10 from me, straight out.
Rolls Royce,
William Saliba. Yeah, for me, of course, Saliba is solid. But I'm not gonna give him a 10. I would like give him a 10 because, of course, there are games where people are like, maybe he had 1 or 2 games where he didn't really maybe play very well, maybe, but overall his stats is pretty solid and pretty good. His tackles success rate is about 63%. And then the amount of games he played, even going forward with his distribution, his pass success rate is 93%. So Saliba is really solid. It brings composure and calm to the defense. It's kind of like opposite from Gabriel. Gabriel is kind of like the rugged and the action. Saliba he has the pace and, very calm. And if you look at and with defenders also, one thing I look at is also discipline. For the whole season, Saliba just had 2 yellow cards for the whole season. So as a defender, that's important, discipline, because your indiscipline will cost the team if you get a red card or something. So for a defender to just get only 2 yellow cards throughout the season, that's impressive. So with Saliba, I'll give Saliba a 9. I'll give Saliba a 9 for this season.
I can see Mr. DJ's a stats man, so that's good. That's good. But with Saliba, I think one of the thing that would be like a negative score for him for me is progression of the ball forward. I think this is something I'm not sure, maybe is based on instruction from the manager, but his progression of the ball forward is something that he still needs to work on, because there's in some games you can see him break into the midfield, but the final pass always lets him down all the time. And if it's something that he can work on, I think we can progress the ball more forward. Again, I think this will come with time, with the tactics, with the change in strategy of the team and everything. I think that will come with time. But again, a Rolls Royce of a defender, and I personally would give him a 9 as well for the season. And I think DJ, you give him a 9 as well. So
yeah,
based on that, he's going with a 9.
Yeah.
All right. So the next on the list. Wait, is Gabriel missing on this list? It better not be missing.
I think he is missing somewhere.
Gabriel's missing on the list. Oh my days.
Here.
Okay, I can add him. I can add him real quick.
Okay.
My number 6.
Gabriel
Magalhães. My defender. I think he's the best. For me, he's the player. Okay, we'll get to that part. Don't let me jump ahead. But I will personally give Gabriel a 9.5 for the season. And the reason being that is because with the defense, the combination of himself and Saliba, the goals. I believe he scored 4-5 goals this season for us. Important goals, not just any goals. When you look at games like Newcastle
game,
the Newcastle game, the last minute goal for the Newcastle games, the assist against Chelsea, that is very underrated. When you look at I was looking at Gabriel's game, some of those assists through a set piece, where Saka will lob the ball all the way to the back end of the stick, and what Gabriel does is just create an assist with his head back into the box. No other defender does that in the Premier League. Plus his defense, his last-ditch tackles. Did you see the game against PSG? Did you see all those last-ditch tackles against Doué and Cavara? Unbelievable. So for me, I'll give Gabriel a 9.5.
Okay. 9.5. I mean, DJ, go on.
Okay, yeah. So Gabriel, obviously we know that Gabriel and Saliba are probably they're the best defense combination in the world. People can argue if they want to, but I think they are. So for me, they're pretty similar, even in their stats. They're pretty similar when you talk about their defensive stats. Gabriel tackles with a 3% success rate, duels 65%. But like you said, Gabriel intercept and block shots in key games like game 7 blocks. It gives, and I think for me, where he has an edge over Saliba is his scoring ability. The number of goals he scored. I think in the Premier League he scored about 3 or 4 goals this season. Apart from scoring, even the assist from the corner, where, like you said, when the cross comes in, he kind of assists, loops it back in with his head and all that. So Gabriel is a major threat for set pieces, and even opposition teams are always scared when Gabriel is bouncing forward for like a corner or something. You can see the nervousness in defense, So with that, I'll give now Gabriel a 9.5 because I gave Saliba a 9, but I think he edges Saliba with because of his addition going forward in terms of goals and set piece, and all that. So I'll give Gabriel a 9.5. And I think he has also really matured, because Gabriel of 3 seasons ago is very rash and prone to error, but you can see this season he's more composed, more matured. Times is tackled properly, and in terms of discipline, he only got 4 yellow cards this season. And, in past season, Gabriel is prone to yellow cards and red card, but for a whole season, only 4 yellow cards. So that's pretty impressive.
I mean, 9.5. All right.
9.5. I gave Saliba a 10. Definitely, I'm going to give
11.
In the Premiership, 32 games of 38, 3 goals, 4 assists. Come on, man, from a defender. Still a solid guy. Of course, you said that from previous seasons. He's pretty much matured over time. He has upped his game. Is the leader. I mean, I'm sure that they're going to revisit whatever happens. Of course, I mean the rooms are going to be all right. Whoever they decide to become the captain of the season for Arsenal going forward is in contention. Rice is also definitely in contention, but it's been consistent. Whether we like it or not, the only flaw he had was the Champions League game that he had missed the penalty. That was, to me, the only flaw of his season so far. But of course, outside of that, it's been solid transitions, the assists, not like you said, not just the goals that he scored, the timing and the games that he did score those goals, the importance of those goals that he scored through the course of the season. 4 assists. Some midfielders don't even have 4 assists. I know one certain club that they are celebrating. The only joy that they are celebrating this season is the assist. The only cup that they have. Of course, we don't want to even
Manchester United. Let's call the name.
I mean, imagine that a defender has 4. What if he had played in the midfield? But of course, solid guy. Definitely going to be a 10 for me for Gabriel Magalhães. He is that guy. Like I said, for Saliba too, he's going to walk into any team in the world. And of course, my guy, hopefully he stays injury-free again next season. He has a lot of time for him. All of them are in the World Cup right now. I'm worried. I've been scared about all the things that might happen to them in the World Cup. But of course, we'll be here.
Sure.
And by August, we'll assess them again and see where they are. But solid 10 for me for Gabriel too.
So based on majority, we have a 9.5 for Gabriel Magalhães.
Right.
So next to the Warrior, the South American Warrior, Nkapie. When he came into the squad, when we brought him in, we didn't really know. I personally didn't really know much about this guy right here, this player. The only thing we knew is he was part of the Invisibles in Germany with Leverkusen, Bayer Leverkusen, and that's it. But of course, when he came in this season, it was a little bit shaky, and that is understandable. Trying to get himself acclimatized with the football, the pace of the Premier League, Arteta's tactics, and everything like that. And with time, improved, and he showed that it was one of the important, piece of that puzzle to the Arsenal defense, especially when it comes to the defensive solidity with Arsenal. And for me, Nkapie, I'll give him a 7.5 for the season. And the reason for my rating for him is because, yes, he's good at defending, but that aspect of contributing to the attack is something that is knocking him down with my ratings for him to get a 7.5. Because, again, one of the issues that we had this season was our left-hand side, the attacking on our left-hand side. And I think he contributed to that because, of course, it was not really assisting or contributing towards the flow in that left-hand side of the Arsenal on the pitch, on the Arsenal side of the pitch. So I will be giving it 7.5. Mr. DJ.
Yeah, Pierre Nkapie for me, for your first season with Arsenal, because whether I would like it or not, somebody coming from a different league, coming from Germany, to adapt to Arsenal and all that. In the first season, with the performance, he gave, I think was impressive. I will also give him a 7.5. I was thinking 7, but I think I can give him a 7.5 just for his performance. I think defensively, if we count the number of games where maybe he made an error or something, there were just a few. He was pretty solid defensively. And I know that the way we play the game these days has changed. People expect defenders to be attacking and all that, but I think his primary job is to be a defender, and he did that well. The left-hand side didn't work well. I'm not going to blame a defender for that. The attackers needed to step up their own game, because you can't defend, I know it depends on the tactics, but for a defender, which I always tell people, when when people argue about Timber and James of Chelsea, always bet, I'm like, okay, what position are we looking at? As a defender, you have to look at what is the primary assignment of that person. If they excel in their primary assignment, then every other thing, yes, is a plus. But you can't tell me that, he goes forward a lot, but he can't defend. So for Nkapie, he's a solid defender, and I don't think I expected less coming from Bayern Leverkusen, a team that went unbeaten the previous season. When we got him, I knew we're getting somebody solid, and for us to see this display in the first season, I can only imagine what it would look like in seasons to come when he's more acclimatized and more comfortable with the team. So I'll give Nkapie a 7.5 for his first season with Arsenal.
I hope he stays. I know we got him on loan, but I'm not
He's
sure.
already confirmed. We bought him
really?
already.
No, I think
52 million paid.
All right, that's great. So definitely that answers my question then. So, but I would rate Piero a 7.5 too. But of course, having started only about 25 games through the course of the season, the time he spent playing for us, I know I don't think he really spent he didn't play a full match, but it was consistent. That much for him, player on loan, it didn't really have to do. There's a lot of times that players on loan don't really have to put their bodies on the line, but he fought for the badge. Every time he was called up, any position he was called to play, it really gave everything his all, even showing his butts up to the world, of course, in one of those games. But yeah, Pierre Nkapie gave everything. But of course, he's not perfect. He has few lapses that he needs to work on. The English Premiership can really be tasking compared to the Bundesliga where he's coming from. But he gave everything he had. The substitute, when he had to start, it was solid. So for me, I'll give him a 7.5 too, actually.
Let's go back to our football knowledge. Have we ever had a player on loan that has done the same thing Pierre has done for us in the recent years, or even in the days of the Invisibles and everything? Have we ever had a player on loan playing like he was signed for big money like Piero?
Not even not even Arsenal alone. Generally, that's what I'm not. I can't pick the teams right now, but generally, a lot of them just come because, of course, they are not wanted, they are not needed from their previous teams. But this guy plays like he's already here, is acclimatized, he knows what he's doing, he gave everything. But answering your question, I don't think there's been any. They just come in. They're probably paying me out of my money right now. My other club is there. I have to go back. They want to impress the other club more than impressing the club they're currently playing for. But he just left Bundesliga like, no turning back, no turning back. I am here right now. I'm going to give my all to Arsenal. And that much he did for me.
I think he signed his own contract himself with his performance, to be honest with you. I think he bought himself, to be honest. All right, so we're giving Piero 7.5. All right. Going to the right-hand side of our midfield. Okay.
Yeah, it's where we need to work on this season. Yeah.
To be honest with you, so we are going with 4-4-3.
No, 4-3-3.
Oh, 4-3-3. I'm running blank right now with our midfield.
So, but we have to just look at the whole season. Well, the default basically was Zubimendi, Rice, was the Ødegaard one to put.
Let's start with. So okay, let me change the formation then to 4-3-3. I think. Okay. I'm gonna start with Declan Rice, the general. My opinion that he should be the captain of the Arsenal. In my opinion. For me, Declan Rice, roller coaster, up and down season, 55 games this season, unbelievable. And the famous quote, "It is not done," against Man City, and he got ridiculed for that. Against Man when we lost to Man City, and he said he's not done. A lot of people were like, "Oh, he's doing it for the cameras." I was probably one of them.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to
that. So, but at the end of the day, led the team, leadership in that midfield, interceptions. I know, Mr. DJ, you're going to come to all those numbers. For me, in my books, 9 for the season. Tackles, goal contribution, set piece. I think right now I can bet money in Europe right now. Rice is probably the best set piece taker in the world right now when it comes to corner kicks, and I can debate anyone on that. So for me, I'll give him a 9.
Okay. Oh, so Declan Rice. Obviously, we've seen what it brings to the team. His level of energy is just out of this world. I don't think maybe one or two games where you can say Declan was like out and he was so tired. He just keeps going. He keeps galloping like a horse, just driving everybody forward. When I look at the season, I know the coach has played him, because I can't look at, okay, what position are we rating him on? Because for a major part of the season, it was being played like as a number 8 or as a box to box. Then we can see that in the last few games, it's more like the olden, like the number 6. But for every role he has been deployed in, I think he has excelled and he has given his best. His tackle success rate was 50%, his duel 60%, area duels is there. Like you said, with delivering of dead balls, with corner kicks and free kick, I think, of course, in the Premier League, I don't think anybody bests him. But I think even at this rate, if he keeps going at this rate, I think in all-time comparison, you can be comparing him with Beckham in terms of delivery, of the accuracy of, because the delivery pretty much determines the goal. When you deliver like he does, it's almost impossible to save it, to prevent the goal. So I think Declan Rice, like you also mentioned, he's been a captain even without the armband. He's been a leader in the team, and I think he's an important player to Arsenal. And for me, for this season, I'll give him a 9.5 for this season. I'll give Declan a 9.5.
My basmati, my jollof rice, Declan Rice, one and only. And my tweet is still up. Shout out to Declan Rice, of course, because he is pivotal in us winning this Premiership after 22 years, of course. We try back to back, of course. We know all the story. But I don't think we'll be here. We won't be having these conversations without Declan Rice. So, we'll come to the ratings later, of course. For the Premiership this season, he had 89% pass accuracy, top 3. In the Champions League, 91% pass accuracy. Scored 4 goals with 5 assists, and I don't know who they are going to change all of that coming next season, of course. But like you said, it deserves to be the captain. But whatever happens, I'm sure everybody is happy with what is happening in their back room right now, and it's going great. Declan Rice is amazing. I'll rate him a solid 10. Yes, I'm dashing them. I'm dashing my own guys. I'm dashing them the point. But honestly, back to back from the season it was signed, it really could have been somewhere else. Man City offered more money. It chose Arsenal. Right. It chose the dedication he has had from the first season. He kept it going with the ridiculing his wife from our own fans and other fans too. It didn't let any of those affect him. And people can be very mean behind the computers and all, but regardless, his performance on the pitch, top notch. He gave his all. A few, is human. He got tired, of course, but consistency, we can't take that away from him. Hopefully, He wins the PFA, but yeah, again, for me, I'll rate him a 10 this season. It was perfect in all the games that he played. He gave his all, just like I said for Nkapie, also for David Raya. I would solidly rate Declan Rice a 10.
And I think the reason why we are even having a debate right now about Declan Rice is because I think the position Mikel Arteta started him with, I don't favor that for him at all, to be honest with you. Declan is a 6. He's a sweeper. He's an interceptor. He intercepts, that's his game. But Arteta trying to shove him into a 8 position, I think, is one of the reasons why a lot of people try to discredit what he has done for the season. Because at the end of the day, towards the middle of the season, towards the tail end, he was doing the job of 2 men, having to cover for Zubimendi as well. He was trying to cover for Zubimendi because Zubimendi fall off the face of the earth. He was trying to cover. So he was doing 2 jobs until when he now found the balance between Lewis-Skelly and Rice, then people saw what Rice can do again, and that helped us towards the end of the season, and we almost won the Champions League as well. So, average of that, we're giving Declan Rice a 9.5. So we have a 10, we have a 9, we have a 9.5. So we go with the middle score, 9.5. All right, so we're gonna go next with Zubimendi. Zubimendi played, of course, majority of the start before Skelly came in. So we're going to start with Zubi. Personally, I'll give Zubi a 7. I'll give him a 7. And the reason for that is what I've said before. He started well. He came into this team, and his job coming into this team was to set the tempo. That was the reason why Mikel Arteta brought him to the team, to set the tempo. And he came with that advert as well that, okay, my job here is to make it faster or slow down the tempo, make those passes, be that, last man coming into the box, which he did at the beginning of the season with this. When you look at his goals against Nottingham Forest, that volley against Nottingham Forest, his goal against Aston Villa, it leads with the other, coming in as that, fifth, sixth runner into the box, crashing and everything. So he did that. On mid-season to the last season, he fell off. And I understand that, because when you look at him coming from Real Sociedad and the type of pace of the league, this is his 4th season, so we can give him that grace of the 4th season. And the number of games, I don't think he has ever had to play those kind of games before in his entire career. I think by the mid-season, this guy was playing how many minutes again, Mr. DJ? Maybe you can come to that. He has played double or triple of what he has played in his whole entire career. So it's understandable, but for me, it gets a 7.
So for me, with Zubi, I don't see a lot of stats on him, but I think he played almost all in the Premier League, 34 games plus 4, maybe when he was subbed in. And like you mentioned, I think the pace of the Premier League kind of, impacted him at some point. But I think he started well. Even the games when he dropped off, it wasn't like it was disastrous or something, but it was just obvious that, man, this guy is tired. So for me, I'm still gonna give Zubimendi. I think I'll still give Zubimendi 8.
Are you sure?
Because yes, I'll give him an 8 because his first season in the Premier League, he scored 5 goals. Even how many forward players had more goals than Zubimendi, like in every team? Even in Arsenal, I don't know. I have to check how many goals Bukayo Saka score or something. And we're talking about Premier League alone. Zubimendi had 5. He scored 5 goals. As a midfielder, and this is his first season. Like we said, the first season, of course, is trying to still adapt to the team and all that. I think the positive, the good he did really, outweighs the little flaws, the games where he didn't do too well, which we know is due to fatigue and all that. Because Zubimendi was at some point we were even shouting that he's been overplayed. I think that's how he's using him too much. But I believe he's gonna get better. as it gets used to the tempo of the game in the Premier League and with Arsenal. So I'll give Mendy a 8 because he's a very technically gifted player. If deployed correctly, he's very technically gifted. Don't forget that Liverpool were bent on getting Zubimendi, and that's another thing. The player that chose Arsenal over Liverpool. Club, they were almost dying that Zubimendi. I think some of the fans already started even announcing that they already signed Zubimendi. And I think he just made a U-turn on them. So I think he's a great player. I'm sure this coming season, we're going to see how the coach is going to set up, because obviously people have seen Rice in the 6th row and seems to be impressed with Rice. We don't know what sort of midfielders we're bringing in. We don't know if what's his name now? Lewis-Skelly is gonna keep his role, so we don't know. But at least I think we have a good options for the coach to worry about. So I give him an 8 for this season.
I mean, same for me too, but I'm going to give him an 8 because, like you said, it started the season well. So the first half of the season, I'm going to give him a 9, and the second half, I'm going to give him a 7, and for obvious reasons. So the average of that will be the 8 of. That's where I'm coming from with my own 8. It was consistent in the first half of the season, the goals, the clearances. I mean, but of course, I think fatigue stepped in, and he wasn't able to keep that pace anymore. And I mean, the body is the body. Some people really did go over the edge. The likes of Gabriel, Saliba, that Declan Rice that we spoke about. But I don't know what happened with him. Maybe, I mean, of course, these people are human. We don't know what they are facing outside outside of the pitch. But for whatever reasons, it dropped in his form. It affected him. We saw that. But still, every other time they called him up, he was around. He did what he had to do. His game was not the best, of course, but it still showed up. So for me, if we had to do the average of the first half and the second half, I will go 8. Not a very solid 8, but yeah, 8 for Zubimendi.
Yeah, I'll stick with a 7 either way because he came in as an experienced player. He's 27 right now. And if you look at games that he almost cost us, and losing the ball against Spurs, the game we lost, I think when we lost to Manchester United, he was at fault losing those balls. So again, yes, we won the league, and that covers over the cracks, right? But Zubi cost us. We almost lost the league because of Zubi. Maybe he's not the main person, but so for me, again, he came in as an experienced player at 27, Spanish international. So, but again, majority carries the vote, so we'll go with the 8. All right. The next person. Oh dear.
Ødegaard.
Oh dear. Oh dear, the God. Oh my goodness.
Capitano.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. He should not be the captain of Arsenal. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, a lot of people say, "Oh, there are a lot of leaders on the field." You don't have to be the captain wearing the armband. Oh, not this. Miss me with all of that. Martin Ødegaard for me, he gets a 5, and that's me being generous. He gets a 5. The most subbed captain in the Premier League history. Yes, you can say injury, but again, 2 seasons ago, I believe the 2022-23 season, that was his best season, scoring 15 goals. And after that, he has fallen off the face of the earth. Martin Ødegaard, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The stats are shocking this season. Very shocking. And I believe Martin Ødegaard scored only 1 goal this season for us from the midfield.
Yeah.
And his assist is not even double digits this season for our captain. And we even saw that in the Champions League final. Oh, my dear Lord. Nah. 5 is generous. I give him a 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Captain Martin.
Yeah.
I think this is his worst season ever as an Arsenal player. That's very bad. I think he played, well, look, just the Premier League alone, he played 24 games. He started only 16. He was subbed off 9 times. For a captain, that's not good enough. And like you said, as an attacking midfielder, you only have one goal the whole season.
I will see.
I know, yeah, injury might be there, even but in games where he wasn't injured, we couldn't. For me, I couldn't even see how he impacts game this season. Yeah, he holds the ball, pass left, pass to the back, try to work hard. He presses at times, but he didn't give us much this this season. And when I look at some of his distribution, yeah, his passes say 85%, but I know that most of his passes are sideways passes.
Backwards and sideways.
Yeah, he only passes like 30% forward. And that's that you are playing up, up the field. You're an offensive player. His passes per 90 is just 54, and you are the number 10, where everything should kind of flow through you. So I don't think that's good enough. Only one goal, one left foot goal outside the box. That's it. So for the five that you gave him seems fair, but I'm gonna give him a 6, just because we won the league. So whenever they're writing the history books, no matter how, they will still write that Martin Ødegaard lifted the Premier League for Arsenal as the captain. He was the one that received the trophy, that lifted the trophy. So I'll give him a 6. If we hadn't won the league, there would be nothing to but at least for the in the record books for 2026, it was a captain that lifted the trophy for Arsenal. So I'll give him a 6.
I'm gonna agree with DJ too. It's a 6. Disappointing season for our captain, but of course we can't take out the fact that the few games that he played, he tried. I won't say it was outstanding, but he did try. Come on. Not like it was better in previous season. We need to. I'm not going to be sentimental. Sometimes we need to check what we're doing and move on. I'm not going to compare him to Bruno Fernandes, but it wasn't at his full best this season. But of course, previous seasons in the Premiership, 2023-24, 35 games, 8 goals, 10 assists, compared to this season, 24 games, 1 assist, 24 games, 1 goal, 6 assists. It dipped so bad. And
that's horrendous.
Thankful for, we don't have any player that crossed the 20 goal mark contribution, goals and assists. I don't think we had that this season. But of course, every person had individual performances. But if they were going to check him, it's not going to be top 5 in the performances that he had. But of course, thankfully, every other person covered for him. That is what a team is. But being the captain, being in the role that you play in, there should be more. We expect more from you. You've been in Spain. You understand how the pace is. You've been in Premiership for a while. It's really, if the other players didn't step up, you are the one that's supposed to be there and do everything that you have to do. So for me, I hope it comes through for next season. Otherwise, it might have to check. It would have to be sitting on the bench for a long period of time. But for me, rating him will still be a 6 for me too.
I don't think Martin Ødegaard is going to be here next season, to be honest with you. I think
he'll be. They're checking one more season, and
I don't think so. I think it's going to be shocking to everyone. I think he's going to be sold this season, because there's no way we are looking at Morgan Rogers and Martin Ødegaard is going to be here next season.
That's why I said it might be on the bench for a long period of time. If he stays, which I think it might, but it's not on the spectrum of the people that I think they might sell this season. It's not top 5 of the priorities sale this season, so it might still be here, but of course it will be on the bench for a lot of the games that we're going to play into 26-27.
So we are giving Ødegaard a 6. That to me, that is generous, guys. That is generous. All right, the next culprit. Oh my days!
The
Bukayo Starboy Saka. He was nothing close to being a star boy this season. I'm telling you that for sure. And again, I'm not going to blame him for that. So don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not going to blame him for that. Saka has been overplayed. Hamstring injury, tear, everything, surgery. He's banged up. And I'm super worried, guys. I'm really worried about Bukayo Saka going to the World Cup again. I'm serious. To me personally, I would have celebrated if Bukayo Saka was not picked for the English team. I'm telling you right now. And Bukayo can have the summer to himself to rest and relax because he will be going for the World Cup. Once the World Cup is over, probably England are going to go to the next round. They're going to be going far deep into the World Cup. They will have just 2 weeks before the season starts again. For this ratings for Bukayo Saka, again, looking at his stats for the season, 26 starts, 7 goals, 5 assists. Again, you can say he made history this season with 50 goals and 50 assists this season. So, despite all the injuries, he still tried, but again, he didn't show up in important moments. Thank God we won the league, but Champions League, where we were expecting him to take the mantle, to step forward. There's been a debate, world class or no world class debates and everything. You were expecting someone like Saka to be like, okay, I'm stepping up. He didn't show up this season. So for me, I'll give Saka this season a 7.
His jersey number.
His jersey number. Take it.
Yeah, with Bukayo Saka, yeah, I think this is this season I've been somewhat disappointed in him. I know we say he's played a lot of games and all that, but a lot of players, Declan Rice played a lot of games. And for me, I just think Saka in some games just didn't give me what I would expect as a bare minimum. There's some game that you might not pull down trees, but you're there. But a lot of game is just ghosting. It's just lost. And I think between March, is it February, March, there was a time he had a good 4 or 5 weeks that it was
he just came back
injured.
firing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but which I think that's a rest, it's got some rest. But I've been disappointed. This season, I'm somewhat disappointed. He played 31 games. They were subbed off 10 times. And that's another thing. We see him that he got subbed off more, which is a way to also still give him a rest. So you play 60 minutes at time because you have Nwaneri that is deputizing for you. But like you also said, in big games, he hasn't shown up. He didn't show up. And I think he need to up his game. Unfortunately, we have the World Cup because in my mind, I'm thinking he probably need to get a personal coach because he needs to change how he plays. He needs to step his game up to the next level because he knows how people play against him. Every team will deploy 2 people against you. You already know that's been happening for the last 2 seasons. Then you can't keep just playing the way you're playing. You need somebody, you need a personal coach that can teach him, because when I'm comparing Bukayo Saka, I'm comparing you to a player like Olise. I'm comparing to people that are playing in your role. And I see these people burning down defenders. I'm seeing these people taking up Due, because of course we see, he's a star boy, but yeah, in the last 2 seasons, hasn't lived up to that level. He needs to up his game. He needs to change some things. He needs to learn out. Maybe he needs to go learn how to do some take-ons. Yes, they deploy 2 people against you, but there are players that they deploy 2 people against, and they still find a way. If you look at Yamal, I've watched games whereby 2, 3 people players were deployed against Yamal, and you still find a way. So that's the level I expect Saka to go to. He has to just find a way to just switch up his game. So this season, I've not been too impressed with him. I know that there are some factors that played into that, but overall, I think you need to, if you want to still be that star boy, and I think there's a mark on him now. Because I think Arteta is probably watching him. I won't be surprised if next season, if he's not stepping up, he might not be the starting right winger. I won't be surprised if they bring somebody else in that might compete with him for that role. So he really needs to step up. Yeah, I'll give him a 7 this season because he's scored 7 goals this season. So which is okay. If he hadn't scored that much goal, I'll probably give him like a 6 because really I've not really been impressed with Saka this season. Yes, he's also good with with taking the corners from the left side. His delivery too is good. But for me, I'm comparing you to a player like Yamal, like Olise. Like, how are you destroying defenders? How are you taking defenders on? That part of his game is where you need to work on. Like, when I have two people around me, I need to be able to do something. I think hopefully next season, but like you said, the World Cup will not even give him time to even develop his game and thing, but we'll see. Yeah, well, I'll give him a 7 for this season.
Taking it off from where you stop, that's the problem I have with all our players. I mean, I know they have to represent their countries, but coming off of the amount of games they played going into the World Cup season, I'm worried about their balance when they come back. It's really giving me the hicks. I don't know. But of course, Saka was not consistent this season. And like you said, we'll blame it on the injury. He hasn't been consistent because of the hamstring. After that injury and the surgery, it wasn't the best. But of course, we know that Saka is not the dribbler. I know you're comparing with Yamal, you're comparing me with say he hasn't been the dribbler. He's good on the ball, but he hasn't been the dribbler. He won't dribble. He's not the showboater. He won't do all of that. Would he deliver? Yes, but his delivery has gone down a bit, of course. But I hope, like you said, I mean, maybe he might have that the personal coach who will help him with take-ons and all of that. He does one-on-one take-ons, but of course, now that they've seen him, they've put two people on him, and he has released. I think it has helped us, whether we like it or not. Yes, the focus is on Saka to deliver right now, of course, but he's not doing that. But he has released other parts of the field, other part of the outfield players to do what they can do. Two people marking him compared to previous season where there was just one. Three people marking him compared to previous season where there was just one. Now, those people are freed up the likes of Trossard, the likes of Gyökeres to do what they can do, of course. But I hope he can up his game going forward. But they're getting older. Yeah, we know he's still young, but of course, every year that a player plays, delivering for his team, something is taken out of them. But for me, it will still be a 7 before you even said that. Not because of his jersey numbers, of course, but it wasn't. It's not. It can't break into the 8, but we can't say it's dipped so much to be a 6 or a 5.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just there. Hopefully, next season, coming off of winning the Premiership. They are bolstered. They have more ginger to want to, because of course there's a lot of people saying that can they even defend it. We've not even won it for 1 week. You're asking if you can defend it for next season, but I'm sure that they would also want to have a point to prove. So Saka for me still stays at 7, and definitely hopefully they deliver more for 26-27.
All right, so we're going with a 7. Going to the left-hand side, I don't even know who to pick on this one because either one is horrible. Either one is just... Yeah, I don't have much to say. I think Trossard saved his season with those important goals is caught for us at the tail end. We can say he won us himself. And
I apologize to cut you short. So both ways, Martinelli doing it against Manchester City saved us that
right.
One. Then coming back to Trossard doing it at the tail end of the season. So both of them, whatever.
So there's in some way contributed to get a 5 in my books. So they started with a 0, and with their contributions, they got to 5. So take it out. I don't have much to say about that.
It's not that bad.
You can't give Trossard 5 for the season. I don't think. Yes, he hasn't pulled down the roof or something, but he still had 6 goals, and we know that his goals are kind of like key goals, important goals. The goals he scored. He scored 6 goals. And I think overall in attack, his conversion rate hasn't been that because, of course, just 6 goals. He has 35 shots, 15 shots to target. His distribution accuracy is like 77%. He hasn't given much. Like you said, himself and Martinelli are probably at par. So with Trossard, for me, Trossard and Saka, I can't separate them this season in terms of performance. It's probably the same level. So I'll probably just give him a 7 too, because I can't say Saka has performed better than Trossard this season. Because Trossard had sometimes he had a run where he was very, where it was very, very decent, very good. Then he had some time where he would hold on to the ball for too long, trying to twist people here and there, and they would lose the ball. So he had that season. Martinelli had some times where in the Champions League where he was key. So I'll give Trossard a 7 too for this season. Especially because they won the Premier League. Because they won the Premier League. he gets
I
the
saw you.
7.
I saw you at on the day of the watch along on Champions League final when he was just going back and forth with the ball. I
Yeah,
almost
because
lost it.
he does that a lot. Because you would have twisted the player. You already beat the player.
You beat him
Then don't try to come back again. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're being generous with Trossard. All right, Banji, what do you say,
I mean,
man?
same for me. I would the timing of his goals. I mean, they didn't start the season the best, of course, but the like a couple of other places, one game or two games when they shown out bright and they did what they had to do is why I'm going to say Trossard is going to have a 7. It's not a starter. I mean, the way they alternate between himself and Martinelli, I wouldn't say they are the best of the best, of course, but they gave their all, just like I said about Pierre and Capier. They gave their all when they were called upon. Their all was not the best. Don't get. I mean, they are just bang. I wouldn't say bang average, but then they are doing what they have to do. Oh, it is what it is. But they were important to the course of, like you said, the reason why most of them will get most of the marks in my books is we won the league. Their goals, their contributions led us to where we are. So we can't really take that away from them. So for Trossard, I will still do a 7 to a solid 7 for Trossard.
All right, and because of our time, let's just run through this real quick for the rest. Victor Gyökeres, 14 goals this season, debut season. It didn't start well, to be honest with you. That did not start well for Gyökeres in any way because the kind of striker we were expecting was not what we got. And to be honest with you, I don't think any of us can sit on this panel to be like, we've seen Gyökeres play before coming to the Arsenal, right? All we know is that 2 seasons, over 100 goals, scoring in the Portuguese league. Bring him on board. Like, you're like, bring him.
We'll take
Let's see. Bring him over. But, geez, the touch, his older play, the passing was nothing to look at the beginning of the season. Of course, he scored 14 goals, 1 assist. Mr. DJ Statsman, I know you're going to give us the stats, but for me,
for him,
I'll give him a 7.5. 7.5.
I didn't even have much of a stat on him, but just for your course, I just think there was so much confusion because even till date, I'm like, okay, what are we trying to do? Because I'm like, at times you can't even know whether he's playing well or he's not playing well. Because there are some games where he gives a lot, like in terms of off the ball and all that. And there's sometimes that it's obvious that you see that the team are not playing to his strength. And there's sometimes you also expect him also to play to the strength of the team. So there's so much confusion. But that being said, he's still our highest goal scorer for this season. Scoring 14 goals in the Premier League. I think overall, I think he had that by 21 in all competitions, I think. So 14 goals, being the highest goal scorer. So for me, I think I'll give him an 8. No, I'll give him a 7.5. I'll give him a 7.5. But still, with him, I'm not sure. I don't know what we want to do with him because I don't think Arteta's style of play or what we're trying to do, I'm not exactly sure if Gyökeres kind of fits that mold. So except we're going to make a change next season. Yeah, but if we're still playing the same way we're playing right now next season, I think he's going to struggle because he's going to get to a point where he might get frustrated because you see many games, even in the Champions League final, even when he came in, I can't point out like maybe 3 or 4 things that I said, oh, Gyökeres at this, he didn't really get an opportunity. He had some time that he did something, but like the way Havertz played in that game, compared to Gyökeres, you could see that it's different because the way we play kind of, suited Havertz more. So Arteta has to do something because I don't think we are getting the best out of Gyökeres. I don't think he's a bad striker. I think he's very clinical with the ball. I think he's a good shooter of the ball. But I don't think we are playing him into our game. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to, but I'll still give him a 7.5 for his first season. I want to assume, he has just taken that time to just get used to England, to the team, and hopefully next season we can see a better version of Gyökeres.
I mean, I'll say the same, honestly, but on the flip side for me, getting adapted to a new role, it was a lot. It was a lot coming into the season with him. But I mean, I wouldn't outrightly say yes. But going to next season, I'm sure that they would adapt to his play, his style of play. I think that was what happened from the first half of the season, and eventually he got into the flow of this game. Saka still believed he was a goal scorer. There were times where Saka was supposed to pass to Gyökeres that he held, he tried to shoot, just kind of stuff. There were times when he was in open play, they were supposed to cross. I think it's them trying to adapt to him, which is they'll get the balance. I'm sure they will get the balance. But for me, because of the time, of course, I would say Gyökeres at 8. He top striker, gave us the goal contribution that he was supposed to do, led us to first Premiership in 22 years. Off of the work that he did with his other team, and he came here and did that work again. So, I mean, hopefully going into next season, I don't know if Jesus will be there next season. Whoever they play next season, let's see how it goes. But solid 8 for Gyökeres for me.
So with the majority, that'll be a 7.5.
Ish.
All right. So because of our time, we're just going to run through the rest of the team, and we don't have to give much analysis. Just we can just give them the rating as we go. For our backup, Kepa Pig, he gets a 3. Let's just move on with that. 3. Cost us in the Carabao Cup, dropping the ball. FA Cup. Jesus.
Yeah, I think I just give him like a solid 5. Just average.
5.
Yeah, because I don't think, because I was talking to you. I don't think he's like a poor keeper like that. But
I mean,
he didn't play much game. And when you're a goalkeeper, you're just sitting down and you're not in a competitive game. At times, you tend to see those kind of things because we know his history. Kepa is not like a poor goalkeeper. I was telling you that for a number 2, I think he's still good enough. I'm hoping he will still stay.
Compared to Trafford. No, Trafford was in the same shoes as well.
Yeah, but Trafford, how many games did he play? Because the more you play, the better. Kepa, you just throw him in here after, like, he hasn't played in 10 games. He's coming in cold most of the time. So I don't know. I don't know how Arteta wants to do it. Maybe next season she just dedicate the FA Cups and Carabao to him.
I don't want to see him again. He needs to be sold. We need to bring a different keeper. I don't want to see Kepa again in Arsenal jersey. I'm sorry. No way. So, Danji, what's your rating?
For Kepa, I said that before, a 4 for me. That's
4. So what's the midpoint? So 4. We give him a 4. Yes, let's just move on. Less said, the better. Calafiori, for me, he gets an 8.
Consistency for Calafiori and his adaptation to the team, I'll say 7.5 for Calafiori.
Yeah, I'll go 7.5 too.
That's save against Everton.
Oh my days. That's copy and save.
Some ninja stuff. But yeah, 7.5 still for Calafiori.
So DJ,
I think I'll give him an 8 because his offensive
exactly what he brings. He's all over. He's a wild ass.
Because
he's all over the pitch.
He tries, he heads the ball. He tries to score all the time. So yeah. 8 is okay.
8. Okay. Ben White.
My warrior Ben White. For me, Ben White, I would say a 7.5.
7.5 of Ben White.
Yes.
Yeah. Ben White, I give him 7 for this season.
I give him a 7 as well.
I don't think he has played much this season.
Yeah, consistency, injuries. At the beginning, when he first came in, he was really poor. Then he grew in, and unfortunately, got injured again. Right. So he gets a 7. Mosquera.
My guy, 7.5 to Mosquera for me. He did what he had to do when he was called upon. Came through. Sad that he did what he did against PSG, but still, regardless, he's going to get into his game for the amount of money that we bought him for. Yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, for me too, same. Mosquera. I think there's some, even there, if you remember, there was a time that Saliba was injured that he played Saliba's role. People were even saying Saliba should not come back into the team. I think he's a solid defender, even against PSG. Even that penalty, personally, I don't know. I won't even blame him because that could just be, he's a defender. And you could see how he locked down Kvaratskhelia throughout the game, except for just one man. You're talking about this left winger that is possibly maybe the best left winger in the world. So so it's just that moment, which is just a clumsy moment, which is a young player. So he didn't have a bad game, in my opinion, against PSG, just one moment. So I think 7.5 is fair for him. Also, his first season in the league, So
I think 7.5 is fair. He's a young player. He's trying to adapt to the league, more pace, intense. So, yeah, 7.5. Let's go to now to the midfield. Lewis-Skelly.
Skelly. 8 for Skelly for me.
Yeah, I think I'll do it for him too. Just for it's the last 4-5 games
Yeah.
where his role changed, because I think him moving to midfield that kind of just raised his level. When he was playing left back, he had moments where I'm kind of just worried. When he cuts into the midfield and trying to dilly-dally on the ball and loses possession, it was just But playing in the midfield, I think in the last 4-5 games, has really shown his ability. So I think 8 for me.
So I have 2 ratings for him. Like you said, in the midfield, 8. In the defense, he gets a 5 for me. So I think moving to the midfield, it was the best thing that happened to him. And I still have hope that I'm not wishing injury on anyone, but I'm still thinking Skelly can go to the World Cup. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Let's see if he gets caught up. So let's just run through the midfield real quick. Eze.
Eze 7.5. Adapting to a bigger
7.5
club.
as well.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, 7.5 is fair enough. I don't think he has given much this season, except against Tottenham, where he destroyed them in both games home and away. It's like he had a beef for them. I think it's called how many goals? Almost
5 goals.
5 goals
goals.
against Tottenham. Yeah. So apart from those 2 games, I think he still has a way to go. Yeah.
Okay, so
7.5 is good.
7.5. Okay. Then Mikel Merino. This one is a little bit tricky for me.
Yeah,
I'll
he didn't
just
play
give him
this
a
season.
7. The important goal he scored against Newcastle for that equalizer for me. When we were 1-0 down in that game, he came in and he scored that equalizer. So he didn't really play much. So I'll just give him a 7, standard 7.
Yeah, that works for me too.
same.
No.
Merino.
So I'm just gonna put some people in a bracket. People like Ødegaard, people like Jesus. I think all 6 for me. Yeah, Martinelli. Yeah, Martinelli, Jesus, Madueke. I'm just gonna put them in the bracket of 6 for me, to be honest.
I'll remove Martinelli from that mix, but yeah, they could still be there. But for me, between a 6 and a 7 for all of them together combined.
Combined.
Yeah, no, I think I remember. I don't think Madueke probably worth more than a 6. There are some
6.5?
games where, maybe 6.5 to a 7,
Champions
because
League.
for him to play in Champions League final, and when it actually came in the Champions League final, he didn't do too bad. Though he had an opportunity to move in some of with the ball, but he was a threat in the game a little bit. But I think he needs to also develop his game. But Ødegaard, I think, is a player that I think we need to give a chance. I don't think we've seen much of him. I think he's better. I think he's better than we think.
Sadly, I don't know why we bought him, but yeah.
I don't think Arteta trusts him. I think I don't trust him. I think he's gonna be
that's the
sold.
thing. But he's not a bad player. He's captain of Brentford, and I'm
Right.
just and I'm hoping, because all these players that are going to the World Cup now are not going to start the season.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that a player like him can start in that 6 role and be solid for 3, 4, 5 games.
Okay. All right. So, and the last person, of course, which I'm going to single out is Max Dalman, and I think he's the young player of the season. And
No.
personally,
No, they can't give him. They have to give it to Sherky.
Robin sentimental.
no, not for the Premier League, for Arsenal.
for
I mean,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
for Arsenal, he's our young player of the season,
Oh, yeah,
and
Mhm.
I would give him a young player rating of an 8. And the reason being that is because against Everton, he came in. I don't think we were gonna win that game at all. His assist, not really his assist, his pre-assist
Well,
with the cross and the goal. That's a moment. That was a good moment. So I'll give him an 8 for that, for the season.
same general overall rating. The games that he played, if we're not going to see every other thing, but the games that he played, the impact that he made in those games, I'll give him an 8 too.
Yeah, I think same here for me. I don't think he played too many games, but every game he played, I don't think he did badly.
Right.
So yeah, 8 is fair.
All right, fantastic. So everyone, you've heard us talk today. You can go ahead and put your own ratings in the comments and share that with us. And if there's anything we got wrong, share with us. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
I think we missed the player, Kai Havertz.
Oh yeah, Kai. Yeah,
he scored the goals. He scored. It tends to just score big goals and important goals at times. Well, of course, we didn't have him for much of the season.
Right.
I forgot Kai Havertz. Oh my God, Waka Waka. Yeah, we almost sang that song at the end of the Champions League final. We almost sang that song, but yeah, it was not meant to be. So Kai Havertz, for me, the goal Champions League, it gets a 7 for me. Standard 7.
Yeah, I think it's 7 for me too. 7 because he didn't play much throughout the season, just about 12 games. And I think he started only 7.
All right, there you have it. So now to crown the STC Sports Premier League Player of the Season for us, I personally, I would give that to the one and only, the cat in the post, David Raya.
David Raya should win it, but I said, consistency for me, it'll be. I mean, I'm being sentimental. It will be Declan Rice for me. It's between them, but for me, I would go Declan Rice. Yeah,
for me, I'll do Raya too. I think most people don't tend to give it to a goalkeeper. But Raya has been consistent 3 seasons back to back, Golden Glove or what they call it. And this season, the saves, the game changing saves or the point saving saves that they made. I think he's been very good this season. So I think Declan Rice is up there. Like the two of them, I rated them 9.5. But I think I will give it to Raya. Maybe just because he's been at Arsenal longer than Declan Rice, and he has showed in 3 years. Declan Rice has played for us 2 seasons. But either of them will work. But I think for me, it's Raya.
All right, so you have it. David Raya is the champion of the STC Sports Premier League Player of the Season for us. So if you have a different opinion, go ahead and put that in the comments. And it's good to see all of you, brothers.
Good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
All right. And next time we'll meet, everyone, stay tuned. We're going to be coming out with another vid, and it's going to be our start, bench, sell video. That should be coming to you very soon. And trust me, some people are going to be sold. Yeah, I'm serious. So people,
we need to shake things up.
We need to shake things up, and we need to retain the league and go for that Champions League.
Because, like you said, people are thinking, maybe it's another 22 years, but they'll be shocked.
No. I don't expect that to be 22 years for us.
Before we go, I apologize. What I said was, thankfully, Arteta won it while Pep was there. So it wouldn't be, it was because Pep left is why he won it now. So we have shown that even with Pep, we could still do it. So going forward, I said 3 years. Well, Arsenal owns the league for the next 3 years, whatever happens. But
for me, I say 5. We're dominating for the next 5 years.
5 years.
They'll try to catch up. That's why I said 3. In the last 2 to the 5, they will try to catch up. But for the next 3 years, consistent, back to back.
So we almost forgot one important rate in the gaffer.
The coach.
Okay, especially for you, we need to ask you T, because you were like, you should go.
It was you.
You're like, sell this guy. So
I don't want to see this guy in my club next season.
At the beginning, to be fair, at the beginning of the season, I said it's a win-win situation for me. And he has been there for 6 years, 1 billion spent, and we didn't win anything. Of course, he won the FA Cup, which people can say was with Emery's team. That's what people say. So again, spending that kind of money, yes, you can say rebuilding the team and everything. This season, for me, what I said is, if it doesn't win any trophy, we need to find someone else that could win for us. And I said that he wins, he stays. Even I was not even picky with the trophies. I said, win any trophy, win a Caribbean Cup, win FA Cup, and you can stay. So that was my stand, and he has won. So I know you guys are trying to,
for me, I said it too at the beginning of the season that he has to win this trophy to stay. But for me, it wasn't just any trophy. I said he has to win in whatever trophy he wins. The Premier League has to be there. Major trophy has to be there for him to be guaranteed stay. If he had won the FA Cup or Carabao, there'll probably be questions about, do we need to switch him? But for me, Arteta in general, I think from from the time he started managing Arsenal, I already knew he was a good coach, but he still has areas he needs to improve in. He needs to learn, he needs to learn games where he needs to just let the player just release them, just remove the shackles. He needs to learn games where he needs to put on the shackles and all that. So because I think at times he overcoaches or he overthinks things at times. So those are the areas that I think he needs to work on, because there are games where you need to go in and just run down team and just put them to the sword. I think he just needs to work on that. But I think overall tactically is good, but he shouldn't overthink at things. It does that at times. But so I think for the season, for Coach Arteta, well, he won the Premier League. I think they'll probably give him the coach of the season, I will assume.
The Premier League coach of the season.
Yeah, so he has to be a 9, at least for me. At least he has to be a 9, at least.
I think by default he gets a 9 because, of course, 22 years, we've not won anything. All the other 6 years just gets forgotten because, again, he has won the league for us, right? And we are hoping that moving forward, it just gets better from here. Even though his tactics and the ball play this season has been stinky, has been really, really bad. Trust me, I had to watch sometimes. But again, by default, because he has won the league, then we are going to give him that 9. Benji.
All right, so for me, I was just trying to check something up real quick. It took, I think it took Alex Ferguson about 6 years to win his first trophy at Manchester United, and he has become their best manager overall. But of course, I'm hoping that we give him time, and he will come through. He has shown that he could actually come through. Yes, with the money he has spent, with the time he has taken, the club, the people he has built. It's a solid 9.5 for me for Mikel Arteta. Gaffer, I love him, and I hope that he goes on to do better next season. Hopefully, we bring back again the Premiership and definitely the Champions League next season. My predictions.
So majority carries the vote. So we have a 9 for him, and you've heard that, people. Share, like, and subscribe. Give us your rating of Mikel Arteta. And hopefully next season, we are doing this again as the champions of the Premier League back to back.
Yes,
Until next time, stay tuned. All right, guys. See you on the next pod.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Peace out.